Hello, quarks and quantum anomalies. My name is TV Skyn, and welcome back to the boss designs of Elden Ring, where once again, past Skyn has neglected to provide us with an intro because, well, to be fair, because he quite simply does not know where or when anything is going to be edited together. The open world structure of this game has been a challenge to the format, to say the least, especially with an unmedicated ADHD disaster being in charge of exploring it. So this time, maybe let's change it a little. See, Captain Attention Span over here has managed, while chaotically crisscrossing the map, to run into several bosses and a couple of side quests, none of which are necessarily quite significant enough to have an entire episode structured around them on their own, but they also all felt too interesting to simply ignore wholesale or cut out of the series. They felt like they had something to say about the themes of the game, but they are also disconnected and encountered in an almost random order that just did not really edit well together into one coherent thing. So instead of the usual structure of trying to linearly build up a narrative to one big boss fight as the climax, today we'll try to do it a little bit more vignette style. I will let Big Sword Bozo do his running around, and every once in a while when he stumbles into something interesting, I will cut back in with some analysis. It'll be less organized than I'd usually like and a little bit all over the map, but mea culpa, I probably shouldn't have tried to fit a linear analysis structure quite so rigidly onto an open world game in the first place. So, off you go, past Skyen. Go tug on your leash, puppy. Sadness ahead, indeed. Yeah. Okay. Well, there's an Erdtree here, there's whatever that is, there's some other things, so we can go and explore some more, but boy, that's a little rough. The mausoleum prowls, cradling the soulless demigod. Well, that sounds cool. Do I get... Yes, a sacred tear. Do I have golden seeds? Yes, I do. Do I have more? No, I don't. But sweet X. Oh, that's good. Oh, I like that. I'm happy with that. That's about all that's here. I guess so. Okay, let's try and get to the Erdtree. Oh. Tomb! Yeah. Okay, not sure I like that sound. Oh, it's just... off! Oh my god! Oh, right, this is where I dashed through earlier. Fair enough. Let's see what boss this little dungeon has in store. Cemetery shade. Oh no. Okay, he doesn't do a lot of damage per hit, but he does do a lot of hits. He has no health, though. Yeah, okay, I see. Oh, look at you with your little hat. And he does blood loss. Great. Okay. Look at you with your little hat, your little tentacles on the head, whatever they are. You're like a Hollow Knight character that got lost. Okay, so I shouldn't try and block through that, because he doesn't stagger off my shield for it, like he does with that. Okay, yeah, that blood loss is bad, actually. That'll get you. Pluthel the Headless. Okay, yeah. Definitely don't try and block through that. The blood buildup is too much. Okay, so I don't have a lot of analysis to offer of the Cemetery Shade, at least not without more information about it, but I do want to note now that this is a fantastic character design. And it's the simplicity that makes it work. It is a pure black humanoid shape that is just distended and uncanny enough in its anatomy to look freaky, but not so much as to look entirely grotesque. Add to that a bit of visceral revulsion as you realize that the things coming out of its head aren't a weird hairstyle, but the legs of some horrible arthropod, and you have a design that's worthy of a sleep paralysis demon, or maybe some kind of Slenderman-esque indie horror cult hit game on Steam. Now, obviously, the bug creature on its head immediately makes me think of Solaire and the Sunlight Maggot, and to a lesser extent the spider-possessed corpses in Seldora in Dark Souls 2. Bodies puppeteered by insects is a kind of imagery that FromSoft likes to return to, and fair play to them, it is very potent horror imagery. But it really is enhanced a lot by that initial ambiguity, where you can't immediately tell what's going on, and once you realize what you're actually looking at, the revulsion hits that much harder, it becomes that much scarier, and that is just good character design craft. Aside from that, what does the Cemetery Shade say thematically? Well, I'm not really sure. It looks so much like a ghost, and being that it is a corpse possessed by an insect, it certainly fits into the death theme that I'm developing. Like, if the game is to some extent about death and how we treat the bodies of the dead, this creature could be standing in for the fairly universal horror of knowing that as your body rots in the grave, it will become food and habitat for microbes, parasites, and insects. It won't be long after you are buried before something else will take over your flesh and use it for its own purposes. Reaching a little bit, perhaps there's a criticism in here somewhere. The Erdtree uses the bodies of the dead, and so does this insect. Is there really that much of a difference between them? Is the Erdtree any more special or any less revolting than this thing is? That's probably stretching it, though. My sense of the Cemetery Shade is that it's not meant to be taken as any kind of specific statement, so much as it's meant to be part of the vibe of the game. I think it's mostly meant to be scary and make you think of death and corpses to lead your thoughts in that general direction, and like I said, it is damn well designed for that purpose. Okay, well, that was a little thing. Let's keep going towards the Erdtree. Oh wow, you didn't have a lot of health. Ooh. Ooh, I don't like that. Hello. Erdtree Avatar. Oh, you don't have a head. But you seem rather familiar somehow, actually. You seem actually really familiar. Oh, I think I know. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's the Asylum Demon. He's back. It's our boy. It's our boy! Oh, I'd remember those animations anywhere. Yep. Whoa, okay, alright. So you do have a little bit more than you did last time. Darn. I was hoping to stagger him at some point, but no, guess not so much. Ow. Yeah, okay. A little too greedy there. There we go. Aw, they reused some animations and a rig. That's nice to see. That is genuinely kind of nice to see. Significantly negates damage in mixed physic. Enhances charged attack for time in mixed physic. Unlike the Cemetery Shade, whose thematic role in Elden Ring's narrative is probably quite minor, I think a creature called the Erdtree Avatar must, reasonably speaking, be kind of frickin' crucial. These creatures are manifestations of the Erdtrees, and therefore, reasonably speaking, they must be representative in some way of the tree's nature. Besides that, they are also a little bit of asset recycling. They use the animation bones and a number of the specific animations from the Asylum and Stray demons from Dark Souls 1, and I can't help but wonder about the intentionality of that. Because gameplay-wise, the Erdtree Avatars aren't really major bosses. They are sources of tears for your flask, which is useful but not critical, and they don't seem to gate any major story progression or play any part in the narrative as, like, active agents. So, am I supposed to take them seriously as expressions of the nature of the Erdtree, or am I supposed to think of them as inconsequential copy-pasted optional asset flip encounters, meaningless containers for a few useful items? I obviously think that they're meant to be taken seriously, and I think the reuse of the Stray Demon animation bones is meant as an Easter egg for returning players as much as a cost savings measure, but I do want to acknowledge that these creatures probably don't always need to be the cornerstone of an interpretation of the Erdtree. So, probably the most immediately noticeable character design feature of the Avatar is that it is headless. Now, headlessness is going to be a bit of a theme in this episode, and we'll talk more about it later, but as a design feature, it rather implies lack of free will and volition. Visually speaking, the impression of this creature isn't that it is a thinking, feeling creature that has made a decision to guard the Erdtrees as an individual. This seems like the magical biological equivalent of a robot, a thing which was made to fulfill a purpose without individuality or thought or free will to get in the way. The impression I get here is that this thing has no motive, it simply has a function. The other immediately noticeable feature of the Avatar is that it is hollow. Now, we've talked about hollowness before when it comes to Souls games, and hollowed out bodies, hollowed out chests, that's just classic FromSoft imagery. They love to return to that particular kind of design. We will discuss hollowness in more detail in a second, but first, have you noticed the weird thing about the Avatar yet? The thing that's kind of counterintuitive when you think about it? It's upside down. The Avatar is designed to look like the trunk of an Erdtree. It has the branches, it has the texture, it has the golden leaves spreading out into a canopy, except that canopy is pointed downwards, and on its back, its wings look like roots. We tend to think of trees as having crowns, right? Great big canopies that sit on the head of the tree, but the Erdtree Avatar rather implies the opposite, that the canopy is not the head of the Erdtree, the roots are. And the Erdtree does not rise majestically from the earth, towering into the sky, reaching for the stars. It burrows into the ground and extends its roots like arms questing for food, for the flesh of the dead. And the Avatar staff also supports this idea, showing a depiction of the Erdtree where the trunk and the canopy are a tiny outgrowth, utterly dwarfed by a colossal network of underground roots, which are the true body of the tree. And yeah, I mean, everywhere you go in the lands between, the roots are there, surging in and out of the ground, so normal and omnipresent that they just seem like regular parts of the landscape. So that great big towering golden trunk at the center of the map, for all that the inhabitants of the lands between fixate on it and worship it, that's not actually the main body of the tree. Its head, its consciousness, its nature, all of that is in the roots below. The roots that eat corpses. But, right, hollowness. Where a head should be on the Erdtree Avatar, there is instead a great yawning void, a black chasm opening up to emptiness. And seeing the Avatar as a representative of the Erdtree's nature, we can take this in a couple of ways. It could visually signify hunger, consumption, a gaping mouth forever seeking to be filled but never satisfied, and this jives pretty well with how we've seen the Golden Order so far. It is forever expanding its dominion, consuming cultures and peoples and groups, assimilating and spreading, but seemingly never satisfied. But we could also read this hollowness a little bit more literally. The Avatar is empty, hollow inside, because the tree is empty, hollow, soulless. The Golden Order is founded on the idea that the Erdtree is this deeply significant, magnificent, spiritual presence filled to the brim of holy grace, the source of life and authority in the lands between. But the design of the Avatar might suggest that it's kinda just not really that deep, that all of these meanings that the tree has been given by the culture of the Golden Order is really just projection. However you choose to interpret it, though, I think that the implication of the avatar of the Erdtree looking like this, headless, hollow, empty, and upside down, I mean, none of the implications are good, are they? Is it just another one of the potion refiller ones? Yeah, it is. Okay, so what's up with you? Huh. That's just a kind of enemy, I guess. Okay. That was just a thing that happened. Have to assume we'll encounter more of those at some point, but damn, okay. That was a bit of a moment. Man, this is why I like FromSoft games. It's like that. Oh. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, hello. Hello there.
Hello there.
Hi. Oh, don't tell me that the bell is your... Oh, Okay, probably best not to think about that, really. Okay, but I need to climb you. How do I... Yeah, no, I didn't think that would work. I didn't figure. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, jeez! I guess I'm knocking some stuff off. Does that do anything? It's shaped like human screaming heads, so... Who knows? Okay, well, let's try and clean him. Maybe it'll chill him out and he'll stand still for a sec. Oh. That worked. I guess. Did I do anything, or was that just he just decided to do that on his own? Heck if I know, but let me in! Huh, headless corpse. Huh? Remembrance duplication. So you can get both. So you can get both. Oh, I see. So you can get both of the thing. So you don't have to choose between one or the other. And also another 20,000 souls if you want it. I guess that's only one per? Yeah. I'll duplicate Godric the Grafted. Why not? I wonder if there's more of these. God, that was cool! Oh, that rolled. You don't have any heads. Why don't you have any heads? Okay, you don't have a lot of health either. Makes sense with no head. Well, I already have a headless shade, so I guess you are associated with them. Fourth Church of Marika. Nice. Oh, is that a sacred tear? Is that a sacred tear? It's a sacred tear! Nice. Oh, good. Let's see. What do we have here? There's a tomb down there, or a dungeon, or thing. Cellar, basement. So we gotta go. Oh, hello. Oh, there it is, the tower. Finally, I can return to a home bathed in rays of gold. As we enter the poison swamp. Not on foot. Oh, what? What? Wait! What? Come here. Marionettes. Last time we saw those were in the sorcery town, Raya. Oh, should have done that. Yeah. Don't roll in poison. No, but seriously, what the hell? Okay, so, what the hell? Oh. Ambush shard. Oh, hello. You seem to be having a bad time.
It will do no good, I swear it. And yet you persist. You frothing degenerates.
Do you want some help?
It will do no good, I swear it.
Right, okay, but... Could I...
Why? My death would only be temporary. Your savagery achieves nothing.
I think I just aggroed her. No, listen, I didn't mean to do that. I wanted... I thought maybe I could jump on... Okay. Right, okay. Well, okay. Where do you get absolution? Was it at the church? Was it the Turtle Pope? Was he the one? Or Tortoise Pope, more specifically, more accurately.
Greetings. Do you need anything?
No, but... Oh, right, what's the statue? Statue. Hello, hi. No celestial dew. Okay. Celestial dew. Where do I find that? Okay, so I need a celestial dew to get absolution for accidentally stepping on that lady's face. Okay. That does remind me of something, though. It is her. It is Selen. She's disappeared from here, and she's been taken there. Right, okay, that makes sense. So, yeah, no, okay, I just need Celestial Dew, somehow. Okay. Okay, so... headlessness. That's become a little bit of a theme all of a sudden, hasn't it? Headless ghost soldiers by the church, a headless body resting on the altar inside the mausoleum, the Erdtree Avatars headless, and so is the spirit ashes that past Skyne entirely failed to read the item description of. Fortunately, I can load up the save file and find that it says that Lutel is a headless knight who leads the mausoleum knights, and that she sacrificed her life so that in death she could continue to protect a soulless demigod until their revival, earning her the hero's honor of Erdtree burial. So that explains the headless ghosts near the mausoleum turtle. They are mausoleum knights whose charge is to protect soulless demigods until their revival. Which then, that would be the identity of the headless corpse in the mausoleum. A demigod, not dead, but slumbering, without a head, and without a soul. Now, demigods are supposed to be immortal. That's why Godwyn getting got was such a big deal. So I guess a beheading is not enough to kill one, but it will put them in suspended animation, lay them to sleep for a while, steal their soul. It's not really clear. It all prompts the question, what are they waiting to have happen before they wake up? Because the idea of these soulless demigods slumbering until some indeterminate future point immediately has a little bit of the king asleep in the mountain folklore trope flavor about it. You know, King Arthur, Barbarossa, Holger Danske, legendary figures said to be asleep in some mystical place who will awaken only in the times of most dire peril to defend the nation, that sort of thing. On the other hand, maybe it's more of a Christianity-style sort of thing. Maybe these are the virtuous dead awaiting the end of the world for the resurrection, something like that. I bring those two examples up because Elden Ring has kind of already done both of them already with the Tarnished. The Tarnished, too, are introduced as legendary figures of the distant past who will be called up from their slumber to defend the nation in a time of crisis, and they are arguably also the virtuous dead, waiting for the end of the world to rise again, as it were. The Shattering is a form of an apocalypse. But if the apocalypse is currently happening, why the hell are these lazy still in bed then? Like, what are they waiting for? If the apocalypse is not enough to awaken them, what are they slumbering in anticipation of? What are they waiting for? Are they waiting at all? The Golden Order was founded on the immortality of the demigods, and when Godwyn was slain, unquestionably, publicly, obviously, irreversibly slain, the whole thing started to come apart at the seams. So one is given to wonder, what if a demigod had died before Godwyn? How desperate would the Golden Order be to hide that fact? Desperate enough to behead a corpse and claim that it's just sleeping? Well, that's all baseless speculation at this point, but much like with the Erdtree Avatar, maybe what's going on here is that they have a gameplay mechanic that needs to be dressed up in something that's vaguely lore appropriate, and maybe you're not supposed to be thinking too hard or too specifically about it. Maybe it's more flavor than lore critical conspiracy. I think the fact that there are obviously dead demigods laying around in mausoleums is probably important given the context of the Golden Order, and I'm going to interpret them as such, but I won't be surprised if it turns out that Elden Ring isn't going to offer me any concrete answers about the nature of the beheaded demigods. Anyway, headlessness, right. So, as a design feature, headlessness has certain connotations, like we discussed, a lack of will, a lack of personhood, a lack of individuality, and that is how that feature is deployed on the Mausoleum Knights, whose headlessness represents their surrender of selfhood in service to what they believe is a higher cause. As an interesting point of contrast, look at the sorcerers of Raya Lucaria, who symbolize their dedication to the cause of learning by quite literally adding more heads to their shoulders. They revere the head and the intellect and the will to the point that apparently they create magic artillery constructs which are made out of nothing but heads. And indeed, even their mindless puppets, the various marionettes, still retain a head on their shoulders. Lucaria's reverence of the head feels as opposite to the Golden Order as their blue color feels to their yellow. To the Golden Order, giving up your head, your will, your individuality, and having your body serve a thoughtless, mindless purpose for your divine betters is the greatest act of virtue, one which they reward by feeding you to the roots of the Erdtree so your body can serve a thoughtless, mindless purpose for its divine betters. So no wonder that Godric, a man who was almost only a head by the end, felt so entitled to the bodies of his subjects. No wonder that he thought everyone else should be honored to give their selves up for him. It turns out that he was not being unusually greedy or entitled, he was simply practicing what the Golden Order preaches. Okay, let's see, what else is down here? There's a shack with an NPC in it. Hello! That's a mask, right? Yeah.
Well, there's been an age since I've seen a customer. How can I help here at the end of the earth?
I would like... Ooh, stone sword keys, yes. Oh, hello, honey. oh, you are as beautiful as ever, baby. Okay, last places to explore would be this tower and this lake over here. And then we're probably done with this area for now. Tower of Return. What a thrill with darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill. I'm searching and I'll meld into you. Hello. A transport trap. Now where will I be taken? Leyendell, the royal capital. Oh, Jesus. Okay. That's a bit far. Is it just me, or does that thing over there... That's the head of a dragon. That's the body of a dragon. That's an entire dragon. That's a whole-ass dragon right there. What the hell? Whoa, whoa. Oh, that was close. Oh, one of those is going to come alive, isn't it? Yup. Oh, you have way too much health. You seem to be in very good health for one of you guys. Woo! Ah, okay. Well, me, I guess. Well, it doesn't seem to be much I can do here, really. The teleportation thing doesn't work. And I assume... there isn't even a prompt for this lever, so can't use that for nothing. Like, I guess my best bet would be trying to jump down there. Oh, this is probably a better bet. Ah, I missed. Okay. So, like, theoretically, I should be able to, right? Yeah. Nope. Can't jump far enough, and I probably still would die, honestly. Because it looks like there's a kill plane down there. Like, it looks like it's not fall damage that's killing me, it's a kill plane. Which, you know, fair enough. Right, so I guess you're not really meant to be able to do anything here. It's just, hey... we'll throw you over here to have a look, so you know where the end game is, I guess. Or, well, if this is the end game. Okay, well, I guess... Alright. That just took us all the way there. Tower of Return, indeed. Return being returned to the capital. I mean, at this point, the main things we have left that we can do would be to explore the Lucaria, Rea Lucaria area more. Which that actually kind of appeals to me more than going to see a new place in some ways, but no, let's head out over east. Oh no, wait, doi, idiot, fool. Simpleton.
You've met Garank, I take it. Then owing to our duties shared, we're now comrades in arms. I think you've earned this. The power of the Golden Order to aid the hunt of those who live in death. Are you acquainted with a man named Rogier? You know, the piteous fellow hiding away on the balcony. He was a formidable spellblade in times past. Don't let his easy air deceive you. He was wise beyond his years, stout of heart and clear of mind. No more, though. You see him now. Ravaged by thorns, muttering and rambling, like he's half dead already. I can't stomach to watch. Take well the lesson, friend. That's how you end up when seduced by those who live in death. When grace is sullied, it rots people from the inside. Breaks them. I serve the Golden Order, that I might put this crooked land to rights, following only the guidance of the great Elden Ring. Those who live in death fall outside the principles of the Golden Order. Their mere existence sullies the guidance of gold, tainting its truth. And so it is the vermin must be exterminated, down to the very last.
Enchanted right-hand armament with holy damage. Ooh. One of the incantations of the Golden Order fundamentalists used by hunters of those who live in death. Enchants armaments held in the right hand with holy affinity, blah blah blah. Any felled by this incantation cannot be revived. Ah. The role of the hunters is to stamp out defiled reason, all for the perfection of the Golden Order. Creates an image of order dealing holy damage to nearby foes. Oh. Neat.
Always good to see you safe. So, what do you need? The misshapen corpse under Stormvale. That is a sacred relic of the Black Knives Plot, as that famed night of assassination is known. It happened during the golden age of the Erdtree, long before the shattering of the Elden Ring. Someone stole a fragment of the Rune of Death from Malekith, the Black Blade, and on a bitter night, murdered Godwyn the Golden. That was the first recorded death of a demigod in all history, and it became the catalyst. Soon, the Elden Ring was smashed, and thus sprang forth the war known as the Shattering. I once wished to become a scholar, you see. I've spent many an hour scouring the archives for knowledge of that fateful plot. The world has grown crooked, and if you intend to put it to rights, you'd better understand what happened to make it this way. And that thing is to blame for the shape I'm in now. I urge the utmost caution. Don't disturb the corpse more than necessary.
Huh.
The battle art you've learned is of the Glintstone family. They were conceived at the Great Academy of Rea Lucaria, to the north of this castle. In the past, they obeyed laws which contravened the Golden Order, or so I'm told. Fascinating, isn't it? That the Golden Order was pliable enough to absorb practices that contradicted itself in the past. With the Order broken, twisted, and in need of repair, such adaptability is more important now than ever.
My. A little bit of historical detail about the world there.
Greetings. Are you here for spirit tuning? I feel like I'm really coming to grips with spirit tuning of late. I can see how and why immortal essence exists, a spirit under the Golden Order. I can understand their yearnings, what they become drawn to. Master Hugh said it himself, actually, that I'm no mere apprentice any longer. Once again, I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. Roderica, the certified spirit tuner.
That's nice.
Well, where have you been hiding? I took you for dead. No matter, it's all the same. Lay out your arms then. The girl has come a long way. As ever, time and technique have made her stronger. 'Tis good to see. An imprisoned monster does not deserve an apprentice. Or a daughter. But at times, that's precisely what she feels like to me. I've gone soft. And it isn't easy.
Now to make some decisions. I'll upgrade the Zweihinder a bit. But do I want to... Because I really do want that super big sword. Yeah, +6. Well, we'll take it up to +6. He. And then we'll find the big sword when we find the big sword.
You are so very warm. My dear, have you ever heard of Black Knife Prince? Dear Rogier likes to talk of them when abed, and the ancient plot in which the first of the demigods was slain. The black knives wielded by the assassins who committed the act, along with the impressions they made, somehow hide the truth of the conspiracy. These grand affairs are hardly my forte, but dear Rogier began to weep as he spoke. In truth, I've heard tell from someone else about the Black Knife Prince that fascinate dear Rogier so.
Ooh.
But it wouldn't be right to give this to him, stuck as he is in the Round Table hold. Perhaps you could make use of it?
So there was a thing on Twitter a little while back, like a dude who like posted a, "Do not let this lady hug you in the hold. She gives you a debuff that takes away your health." Which was a little bit funny because like she tells you that the first time you meet her. Like that's literally the first thing she tells you about herself is that she's she's the deathbed companion. She's someone who like lays with strong warriors and absorbs part of their essence, and in absorbing it, she's able to pass it on to others. Like that was her whole purpose in life, was to be used as a vessel for power to be passed on to someone else. And like once upon a time, she was supposed to lay with a dying lord and revive him by passing the strength of warriors onto him, but he died before she could do that, and that was part of her backstory. Like that's part of why she came to the Round Table hold in the first place. So it's like, no, yeah, like that's who she is. That's what she does. She takes small amounts of power and grants blessings in turn. Like you have to pay attention to the NPC dialogue, my boy. No new open doors. I don't have a bell bearing. What does that do? I have kind of been thinking that I need a strike weapon, like a weapon that does strike damage instead of the other kinds. Just because sometimes I encounter enemies that are really troublesome to kill with a sword, but yeah, I don't want to put the smithing stones into upgrading it right now. Okay. Back to the smoldering church. Let's move on. Have I gotten to an area where I'm just not strong enough to be? Kind of feels that way, honestly. Well, that doesn't look very friendly. Oh, what are you? Let's just provoke you for a sec. Let's see. Oh, you're not much of a flyer. Can you jump up here? Not so much? Okay. It's rotting. Everything rotting scarlet. The very earth that Caelid rests upon in Celia, town of sorcery. The end is nigh for us all. Quite. So the Erdtree is like doing its best, I guess, but whatever this is, this rot. Oh, why are those dogs so large? Oh, hell. Jesus. So I can't really beat anything here sensibly. Like, I can beat the beasts, I think, with a little bit of effort, but yeah. I feel under-leveled, I gotta say. Is there a treasure chest on this thing? Hey! Quick, 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 fast! No, you little bird. Come over here. Come over here. Yeah, mine. Oh, 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 oh! Ah! Ah! Oh, I don't like this place at all. I love the enemy designs here. They're very cool. It's just the place very bad. Hi, excuse me. Coming through. Whoa, okay. Oh god, more archers. They're on that An Orlando sh. Oh, okay. Closed. Well, what if it wasn't closed? What if it was open? What if I could just do this? What if? What if that? I fully intend to leave this area. I just, right now, it's just a more thing of, like, running around and seeing how much I can get away with. Oh, hey! It's another one of those! Hello. How are you? I guess they're doing gladiatorial combat with it. Go have fun. Somehow not dead yet. It's amazing what you can get away with in this game if you're just audacious enough. Crime, it's the way. Get teleportation gate. Whoa, okay. Whoa! Siege towers. Hey, that's a giant. He's got a flaming sword. Okay, can't get in that way. Hey, smithing stone. That's nice. Okay. Alright, I think I'm done. I think I'm done around. What do we have here? A coarse lump of an iron lump of an ultra great sword mows down foes by utilizing its incredible weight. Though handling it likely requires the wielder to have surpassed the realm of merely human, it is precisely for this reason the weapon is used to slaughter even inhuman foes. I need a little more strength before I can wield that comfortably, but... Yes! Look at it! Oh, it's so pretty! Look at it! Gorgeous thing! You need some upgrades, and we'll get you those. Although for now, the question I have is... how do you get into that castle? It kind of looks like you do it like this. Oh! Okay. There was a hole in the ground. So this place is a little bit beyond me right now. Like, the boss there didn't really seem to take any damage from anything I did to it. And neither did most of the enemies. Like, I could probably take them down, but boy, that seemed a little bit tedious. Right, so we need smithing stones, and the best place to get smithing stones is in a mine. And mines are marked on the map by these little orange vague circles, making them relatively easy to find if you just pay attention. But while I am here, I realize there's a little bit of ruins I haven't explored in this area just yet. And I figure, why not? Let's have a look.
82 kilometers later.
Okay, anyway, the mine. We were going to the mine. Uh-oh. Leave me alone. Me. Oh, hey, it's you guys down here. Well, aren't you perceptive? There we go. Smithing stones. Now we're in business. Okay, who's the boss here then? Oh, okay. A regular ass enemy. Yeah, not too worried about that one. Yeah, that was doable. Rusted anchor. Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. When the Tarnished left the lands between with their lord, one boat alone was said to have been left behind. Okay, that's kind of cool. That's great for like a meme build of some kind.
Well, where have you been hiding? I took you for dead. No matter, it's all the same. Lay out your arms, then.
Haha! Excellent. Now then, I think I want to explore what's up along that ridge there. Oh, hey! Another one of those. Malefactors Everjail. Hell yeah. Who do we have here? Oh my god, that's Smaug's armor, basically. Okay, is that... What's that? It's gonna explode. Okay, explode a lot. Damn it. Oh, yeah. No, that was, I probably shouldn't have jumped right into the exploding fireball. Out of stamina there. There we go. Few too many mistakes there, I think. But I got his neat little spell. What do we have here? What are you guys deal? Okay, seems to do fire damage. Hey, yo, what's up? Cool armor, though. Fire Monk's Prayer Book. Ooh, more fire spells. Dappled cured meat. Fire, spur me. Oh, that's a good taunt. That's a nice little taunt. So, when I was fighting the Thief of Fire Adan, I kinda had a thought. I think I've seen that spell before. An incantation that releases a huge celestial object that tracks you and then explodes. Well, isn't that just Renala's full moon? Now, obviously, this is probably just a bit of mechanical convergence, right? A big fireball that explodes is a fantasy staple, and the similarity in mechanics is probably not meant to signal any kind of particular lore connection, but it did cause me to misidentify the fireball as a celestial object. I was like, oh hey, that looks like the moon spell, so is this a sun spell? Which then prompted another question of, hey, where's all the sun worship in this game? In a world that worships a giant tree, you would think the sun would be a close second object of reverence, what with the necessity of the sun to plant life. Except, of course, oh, wait, no. The Erdtree doesn't get its energy from the sun, does it? It gets it from eating corpses. The light of the Erdtree holds sway in the lands between, having essentially replaced the sun, with its canopy being the greatest glowing object in the sky, and the sun itself merely a hazy, distant object in the sky that nobody in the lands between seems to pay much attention to. Later on, we will fight one of the headless spirits, and it will hold a shield that seems to depict an eclipse, which is interesting because an eclipse is the sun defeated, the sun undone, the sun literally overshadowed, which suggests not only an indifference, but an active antagonism by the Golden Order towards the sun. As I was trawling through my old footage and cutscenes looking for any sun imagery that might be present in the lands between, I did find one, and it was being worn by a very important warrior, but I only found one, and it's this guy. Which, It's a really familiar looking sun design that he's wearing as well, which, I swear to God, FromSoft, if you turn him into this game's Solaire, I am going to become the Joker. Goldmask initially also seemed to have a sun design on his golden mask, but looking at it more closely, that's not a sun, that's a sunflower, complete with seed pits in the middle. And given that tarnished sunflowers are found all around the minor Erdtrees, that seems to be what he's trying to evoke. As the item description for those sunflowers reads, these flowers bloom not facing towards the sun, but towards the Erdtree, which fits pretty well with Goldmask being a Golden Order diehard. The loathsome Dung Eater, on the other hand, is clearly someone who is utterly repugnant and opposite to everything that is considered good in the lands between. So between him wearing that sun design as an apparent act of blasphemy, I guess, and the Mausoleum Knights, honored defenders of the slumbering demigods, proudly wearing an eclipse design on their shields, I've already theorized that once upon a time a dragon empire seems to have ruled the lands between, whose iconography was absorbed and assimilated into some parts of the Golden Order. I wouldn't be surprised at all if somewhere in the deep lore, once upon a time, this place was ruled by a now forgotten cult of the sun as well. There was also that NPC here who asked me to get some guy.
Should be resting at an abandoned home down the way. Please, I must have the necklace back.
An abandoned home down the way. The way being this? Oh, hey, that looks about right. Hello, you.
What are you looking at? You trying to start something, mate? That necklace what you're after, is it? Well, show me what it's worth to you, and I'll consider parting ways with it. I'm not in love with it or nothing. You're a shrewd one, Chief. First, you hand me the runes, and don't try nothing, neither. All right. Take it. Thing's no damn use to anyone anyway. Your bloody idea, mate. Don't come crying to me later.
Okay. Well, that took a war. I thought it was... Yeah, okay. Oh, well. Got your thing!
The thug should be resting at an abandoned home down the way. Please, I must have the necklace back. Oh, yes. That is my missing necklace. Thank you kindly. I am in your debt. Did I forget to announce myself? I am Raya, in the service of Lady Tanith of the Volcano Manor. I seek stalwart tarnished, who might join our house. You are very brave yourself. Not only a steady hand, but a steady heart. Merciless, even to your own kind. Such strength is precisely what my mistress seeks. Please, take this. Brave Tarnished. Seek the Altus Plateau, the realm of the Erdtree. Most Tarnished are doomed to wander the outskirts of the lands between, peering wistfully at the towering Erdtree. But you are no ordinary Tarnished. And once that is proven, the Volcano Manor will fully extend its invitation to fight amongst a family of champions. Oh, and one more thing. Only for you. This land of Liurnia is connected to the Altus Plateau by the Grand Lift of Dectus, beyond the high road. But the lift has been defunct for an age, meaning there's no simple means of passage. Instead, you must seek the old ruins in the cliff. At the base of the valley, near the Grand Lift, there's an old tunnel. It was excavated from both ends, linking Liurnia to the Altus Plateau. I have faith in you. A champion through and through. I do hope that we can meet again.
Okay, then. The Grand Lift. Where the hell's the Grand Lift? Over here somewhere? Right, well, let's have a look at that invitation. Brave Tarnished, seek the Altus Plateau in the realm of the Erdtree. Prove yourself making this journey and the Volcano Manor will fully extend its invitation. Okay, cool. So, Erdtree Tower. Oh, I think that's there. I think that's where Fia's clue points us to. Okay. Right. So what the hell do I want to do then? Okay, so that was clearly a test. Raya didn't have her amulet stolen, she let it be stolen, and then she tried to manipulate the first Tarnished that was passing by into murdering a bandit in order to get it back. Violence seems to be the virtue that she is looking for, tempting us with promises of fighting amongst champions like ourselves. And especially in the desolation and decay of the lands between, the promise of an organized community in pursuit of glory to work together with, well, that does sound kind of tempting, doesn't it? As for Raya herself, well, there's an interesting character design. Her most obvious and notable feature is that posture she's got, which is rather unusual. Like, it's not just that she's hunched over forward a little bit awkwardly, it's that she carries herself weirdly with that posture. Leaning that far forward ought to shift your center of gravity. You'd naturally bend at the knees a little bit, maybe spread your stance out, hold your arms in a way to balance yourself, and Raya doesn't do any of that. She stands with her legs together and her arms down her side almost formally, like she's permanently half bowing. It's stiff, it's unbalanced, it makes her odd, but also a little bit cute in her awkwardness. There's a sort of harmlessness to her, which I wonder whether is sincere and an expression of her good nature, or whether it's the setup for some kind of horrible reveal later, like Alfred in Bloodborne. Either way, I am definitely going to Volcano Manor. I need to see what's happening there. Oh, hey. What's with you? You seem to be headless. That's interesting. And you have a shield with the sigil of the Elden Ring. Or the dark sign. Oh, I thought you were a ghost. The Bellum Highway. And Black Knife Catacombs. That's the Beast Eye Quivers. Hey, you look different. Okay, this time there's necromancers. Oh no. Crabs. Yeah. Yeah, I will be wary of crab. Actually, I will be very wary of crab. I will be extremely worried about crab, in fact. Deeply concerned about crab. Oh, crap. It's not gonna turn out that I need the crabs to break the walls for me or something. No, it's just a bunch of memers being okay. Oh, forgot a thing. Ein Großmesser! Yes, a Großmesser is a curved sword boasting a large blade. This weapon is designed to make use of its weight in combination with its sharp cutting edge. A thoroughly reliable weapon of choice for those who can master its particulars. Yeah, fuck off. Oh, hell and damnation. Okay. I was curious if there was like a side path up there that I missed, and I guess technically yes. I don't have to stand on the blade and be raised up, do I? Yes, I do. I guess. Behold, I did it, by the way. Well done, thank you. Though apparently there's more necromancers in here. You! Okay, so I can drop down there. Do I want to do that? Oh my god, there was one! Holy sh**! For once! For once! For once, there actually was a secret passage. Jesus. Blocking required ahead. Well, I can't really do that super well with this weapon. Okay, at least I can stagger the bastard. Eh. Oi! Black knife print. Mark of the Knight of the Black Knives. On the Night of the Black Knives, someone stole a fragment of death from Malekith the Black Blade and imbued its power into the assassin's daggers. This mark is evidence of the ritual and hides the truth of the conspiracy. An assassin's dagger, misshapen and strained in cerulean. Critical hits restore FP. Ooh. This charm is modeled after the darkly gleaming blades used in the Night of the Black Knives, those which gave the demigods their first taste of death. Hell yeah, stick it to the man.
Always good to see you safe. So, what do you need? This is a black knife print. I can scarcely believe you managed to get your hands on this. You recall our conversation about the Night of the Black Knives, yes? They say the assassins who carried out the deed were scions of the Eternal City. A group entirely of women, arrayed in armor of silver under cloaks which fooled the eye. The knives they wielded, though, were imparted with the power of the Rune of Death through sinister rite. Please, I beg of you, lend me the knife print for a time. I'd love nothing more than to tease out its secrets. Though only a fragment, a very specific ritual had to be performed to impart the power of the Rune of Death. Traces of the one who performed the rite are sure to remain in the imprint. Half my body has been suffused with death. I'm certain it will help me see. Oh, still need something?
Okay. I guess he wants those black knife prints and they'll do something with him. Okay. Interesting. So, that was one of the God Slayers, one of the first to give the demigods a taste of true death. An interesting contrast we've observed is that the mausoleum turtles are these grand monuments where demigods lie in state, beheaded and yet supposedly not dead, interred with tremendous pomp and circumstance. By contrast, Godwyn the Golden, who is definitely actually dead for real, lies mutated in a puddle of mud under a castle. This again leads us to this theme I keep seeing in the game: death and how we treat it. Beheaded demigods that are not actually dead get to the most spectacular graves you can think of, glorious beds in which to await rebirth and reawakening in their purity. But Godwyn has been defiled by death, it seems, because he is abandoned, disgraced, and dumped like a dead goldfish down the drain. He has died a death which is not ordained in the system of the Golden Order, and so he seems to have lost the right to have his death respected at all. The shattering happens because of that tainted death. The world is brought to a state of near apocalypse because of that tainted death. In the tellings of the myth of Ragnarok, that survive, it is the death of Belda, the most beautiful of the gods, a god often associated with light and with gold, that precipitates the coming of Ragnarok. And Belda is, well, he's not quite assassinated like Godwyn is, but he is murdered, specifically by Loki, who saw a chance to humiliate the gods for their overconfidence and, being who he is, absolutely had to take it. But, okay, back to the Black Knife Assassin. As a character design, it's actually kind of basic. If you were to image search Dark Fantasy Assassin, this is more or less the average of the kind of designs that tend to come up with that prompt. A cloaked, hooded figure with dark colors, accentuated with some sharp shape language, in this case from the clawed gauntlet hands and the distinctive daggers that they use. But notably, if you look closely at her head, she doesn't seem to have one, and isn't that rather interesting? Now, she has a hood on, which makes it look from a distance as though the head is there. It seems to be sitting on something, but whether her body is just invisible inside her clothes for some reason, or whether there's something else going on, the undeniable fact is that, visually speaking, the Black Knife Assassin is headless. Now, making a character faceless is a classic design move. The human brain is so hardwired to look for faces to relate to, because we're social animals, that a character designer can intentionally deny us access to that face to make the character seem more alien, mysterious, inscrutable, or menacing and scary. So I think that's definitely part of the intention here. She's faceless to make her spookier. But, we just got done talking at length about how headlessness seems to symbolize a lack of will, a lack of personhood. It symbolizes someone whose body is being used as a mere tool by someone else. So, if that visual language is consistent in Elden Ring, which it seems to be given our other examples, well, that raises a question or two about the person who set the assassins on Godwyn, doesn't it? Belda was murdered by Loke. So who is the Loke of the lands between? With the facelessness and the ghostly half-invisibility on the cloak, the Black Knife Assassin looks like, well, a ghost, a wraith, a little bit like the spirit of Christmas future that comes for Scrooge. She looks like a spectre of death itself, a classical Grim Reaper, only short its traditional scythe. And of course, that's the role they play, right? They steal a fragment of death from Malekith and thus bring true death to the gods who thought they were above it. It's a classic case of hubris being punished by Nemesis. Rogier notes that they are all women, specifically an all-female group of assassins, and it's not 100% clear to me what role that plays, what gender means to this story, but it's an odd detail to include so specifically if it doesn't matter at all. Elden Ring definitely has some kind of gender stuff on its mind. Now, in Norse mythology, Loke's murder of Belda is at least in part motivated by a desire to punish hubris, to take the gods down a peg when they believe they are untouchable. This is something that Loke does many times in the stories where he's featured. Belda's mother, Frigg, hears prophecies of the death of her son, and in an effort to forestall his fate, she walks across the face of the world, swearing every living being and inanimate substance in existence to a magical oath never to do Belda harm. This renders him completely invulnerable, and even Thor's hammer Mjolnir, the mightiest weapon in all of the realms, cannot touch him. The gods, fools that they sometimes are, make a sport of this, taking turns shooting, slashing, and throwing their weapons at Belda just to laugh as they bounce off, leaving him completely unharmed. Unfortunately, though, Frigg forgot one little thing: the mistletoe. In some versions of the story, this is because the mistletoe is too young, a child in Frigg's eyes, whom she cannot bind to swear an oath. In other tellings, it's because she swears her magical oath with everything in the seas, on the earth, and in the skies, but the mistletoe grows in the branches of trees, and thus is neither of the sea, the earth, or the sky, and is not bound. Either way, it's very Achilles' heel, it's very Oedipus Rex. The very act of trying to avert a terrible fate is what guarantees it will come to pass. Loke tricks Belda's brother, the blind god Herda, into joining the game of throwing weapons at his brother. He gives Herda a dart, or possibly a spear, made of mistletoe, and the gods watch in horror as it pierces the golden god through the heart, and he falls to the ground, dead in an instant. After Belda dies, Frigg sends entreaties to Hel, the goddess of the underworld, begging for the release of Belda back to the world of the living. Hel promises to send him back if everything in the world, alive or dead, will weep bitter tears for the dead god's soul. And so Frigg walks across the world again, begging everything she finds to weep for her son. And all things do, because Belda was the most beautiful of the gods, and he was very well loved. Except by one. A giantess named Tak. She might have been Loke in disguise, certainly the gods think so in the aftermath, and she curses Belda's name and refuses to cry, dooming him to stay in the underworld of Hel until Ragnarok. There's a theme of hubris and nemesis here, right? Of overconfidence and punishment. These repeated demonstrations that even the mighty powers of the gods are not enough to avert the inevitability of destiny, that they are not untouchable. And this, to me at least, also seems to be in play in Elden Ring. The Golden Order has conquered the land, absorbed its enemies, and conquered death itself. Its demigods are glorious, and the eternal rule of the greater will is the natural order of the world. Pay no attention to all the violence and oppression required to maintain its orthodoxy behind the curtain. And then, whoops, someone exploits a vulnerability they hadn't thought of, and the whole thing comes crashing down in ignominious disaster when Godwyn the Golden is killed. This positions the Black Knife Assassins as punishers of hubris, the Furies in Greek terms, and that would make sense with the all-female part of their identity. It also positions death as fate, as destiny, a destiny which the demigods have committed hubris by denying and trying to seize control over. death is natural and inevitable, and to try and circumvent it, to try and claim dominion over it, that is the sin that ends the world. And that was one of the harder episodes of this series I've had to edit. Jesus. I joke about the unmedicated ADHD playstyle of past Skyne, but like, the sheer amount of cutting and carving that I've had to do to put this together is like, oh dear lord. On the upside, the next episode looks pretty straightforward, and bonus should even be reasonably short, at least compared to this bloated thing. And once I have edited 2 episodes more, I think I will finally be done with all of the footage that I recorded way back when the game first launched. And then it will be time to actually play this God's Forsaken video game again. Before any of that, though, I have to do some self-promotion, and then, if you stick around till after that, we can play a little game in the comments. So, this channel, and especially the Boss Design series, is funded in large part by viewers like you on Patreon. This is not a particularly algorithm-pleasing series. It has a long tail, it tends to get views for a long time, which is very nice, but broadly speaking, producing these episodes tends to cost more money than ad revenue will ever bring in. And that's fine, actually, because the direct support I get on Patreon more than makes up the difference. So, if you have a spare $1 and you would like to spend it on this, you can donate on Patreon or on Ko-fi, and I would very much appreciate the help. However, I am doing fine right now. My bills and my rent is paid. I am not hurting. So if you have spare money right now, maybe instead of sending it to me, consider sending it to Doctors Without Borders or the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. Because honestly, if you give me your money, there's a decent chance that that's what I'm going to do with it. Anyway, let's play a game in the comments. Usually, at the end of my videos, I will play the emoji game, where I ask you to post a completely random emoji in your comment to confuse anyone who didn't watch the video all the way through. But I've got a different request today. I have been working out more recently. I've got a treadmill in my bedroom, and I've been going on that while listening to a whole bunch of podcasts. I have gone through all of my podcasts now, and I kind of need some new ones, so leave a comment down below and recommend me a podcast that you love. Can be anything, any genre, just so long as it's something you genuinely enjoy, and I will put a little heart on your comment to recognize that you've watched the video all the way through to the end. Now, just for me, put your podcast recommendation first in your comment, and then if you have like a comment on the actual video, write that down afterwards, because I really want for someone to go into the comments to want to talk about Elden Ring and get really confused when everyone else is just talking about podcasts. Anyway, I don't 100% know when the next episode is going to be coming out, because I kind of, on the algorithm level, I kind of need to go back to doing my other content every once in a while just to, you know, keep the channel relevant. So I've got a video essay in mind for Arcane that I've sort of been half working on for a bit, that maybe I'll finish that one. But I also had an idea for a video essay about Superman's character design, which, like, it'd be really cool if I could get, like, Sir Superhero in on that. But then also, I have an essay in mind, like I want to do what's the deal with Edelgard from Fire Emblem Three Houses, but maybe that should actually be a what's the deal video about all 3 of the house leaders, because their character designs kind of work together. But then also, I was watching Games Done Quick over the course of like the last week or so, and they played a game there that I was reminded is like, holy shit, that's actually the most beautiful game that was ever made for the Nintendo Entertainment System. And I kind of want to talk about that. So I'm working on those scripts. I have no idea which one is going to be first. Maybe I'll just be like, F it, let's power through Elden Ring. So I don't know. It could be a while, but thank you very much for your time and your attention. Remember to be kind to each other. Act in solidarity with those who are struggling. And may the tides of history wash gently over us all.